Welcome to our channel.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Peace be upon you. On this occasion, we will discuss the pillars of Islam. The pillars of Islam are the basic principles in Islam that every Muslim must understand and practice. Let's start. 5 Pillars of Islam. The pillars of Islam are the basic principles that must be followed and become a guideline for all Muslims in carrying out their daily lives so that they comply with the rules contained in the Qur'an. This is the basis for the Sunnah exemplified by the Prophet Muhammad SAW. The pillars of Islam include acts of worship which are an integral part of religious beliefs and practices in Islam, consisting of 5 main principles that govern the life of a Muslim. These principles form the basis of accepted religious faith and practice in Islam. The pillars of Islam are the basic principles that must be followed and become a guideline for all Muslims in carrying out their daily lives so that they are in accordance with the rules contained in the Quran, so that a person can feel real beauty and happiness in living his daily life. As a person, as a pleasant friend, or as part of a community that has a beneficial existence for fellow human beings. Vice versa, if a Muslim does not follow these guidelines for life, pillars of faith, he will experience failure in life in the form of pseudo-happiness, destructive anger, despair, loneliness, and some even ending his life, suicide. The pillars of Islam are not only a collection of rules or obligations but also carry a deep meaning to the life of a Muslim. Let's discuss more about each of the pillars of Islam. The first principle is the Shahada, confession of faith. The Shahada is a sincere statement of the faith of a sincere Muslim from within his heart, that he believes that there is no God, who has the right to be worshipped other than Allah, and that there is no partner for Allah, and believes that the true Prophet Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. The Shahada is the entrance to becoming a Muslim and expressing belief in Islamic teachings. This is the true belief of a Muslim from the beginning and must be maintained until the end of his life, so that all his worship and good deeds throughout his life are accepted by the Creator, Allah SWT, so that he deserves to be rewarded with happiness and enjoyment in eternal heaven. By reciting the Shahada, a person becomes directed in carrying out his life in an Islamic way with awareness and absolute confidence. The Shahada is the entrance to becoming a Muslim. By testifying that there is no God who has the right to be worshipped except Allah, we acknowledge the oneness of Allah and acknowledge Muhammad as his messenger. The Shahada is the foundation of the faith that unites Muslims around the world. The second principle is Shalat, prayer. Prayer is an obligation for every Muslim that must be performed as a form of servitude and communication with his God, Allah. Prayers must be performed by a Muslim. In a day and night, prayers are performed 5 times, at the times determined and exemplified by the Prophet Muhammad SAW. Namely at dawn, noon, Asr, Maghrib, and Isha. Prayer is a form of direct worship to Allah and is a way to strengthen your spiritual relationship with Him. Prayer is one of the main worship in Islam. Through prayer, we face ourselves to Allah, say prayers, read the Quran, and reflect on the meaning of life. Prayer teaches us discipline, patience, and submission to Allah's will. The third principle is fasting. Siyam Ramadan. Fasting is worship that aims to educate a Muslim to have a healthy body, good morals, and aims to strengthen the soul to have social concern for fellow human beings. Fasting is carried out by refraining from eating and drinking, physical training, and refraining from sexual intercourse between husband and wife, saying bad words, lying, hurting others, controlling lust, from dawn to sunset, Maghrib. Fasting also aims to increase the practice, activities of worship that have a positive value, such as reading the Quran, practicing Sunnah prayers, dhikr, alms, and charity. Fasting is observed during the month of Ramadan, the 9th month in the Islamic calendar. Ramadan fasting is obligatory for Muslims who have reached the age of puberty, adult, and are in good health. Fasting is a form of self-sacrifice and the exercise of discipline to attain soul purification and social awareness. Fasting is mandatory worship during the month of Ramadan. By refraining from eating, drinking and other activities, we try to control our passions and increase our spiritual awareness. Fasting teaches us about compassion, sacrifice, and strengthening social bonds with those who are less fortunate. The fourth principle is zakat, paying zakat. Zakat is an obligation for every Muslim to give some of the property owned to people in need. Zakat is divided into two parts. The first is zakat fitra. Issued, paid the day before Eid al-Fitr as 2.5 kilograms, rice, staple, person. Or with that money equivalent. The second is zakat mal, treasure. Zakat is issued annually at 2.5% of assets, an average of 2.5% of income. This zakat aims to help people who are in dire need, but also strengthens a sense of empathy and social solidarity within the Muslim community. By paying zakat, we maintain and strengthen social bonds in Muslim communities. Zakat teaches us about justice, generosity, and social responsibility as Muslims. The fifth principle is Hajj. Hajj is a spiritual journey that combines various aspects of life, from the unity of Muslims to contemplating life and the afterlife. Hajj teaches us about simplicity, unity, and the importance of self-improvement. At first glance, the pilgrimage begins with the history of life during the time of the prophets Abraham and Ismail, which later became a local culture. Saudi Arabia, which was passed down from generation to generation during the early life of the Prophet Muhammad, which had a positive impact so that it was adopted as a ritual in Islam and commanded by Allah to be carried out by all Muslims who are physically and financially capable. The pilgrimage is carried out in the city of Mecca, Saudi Arabia every year in the month of Dhul-Hijjah. Every Muslim who is physically and financially able is advised to perform Hajj once in his life. Hajj is a deep spiritual experience and unites Muslims from all over the world. The importance of pillars of Islam. The pillars of Islam have an important role in the life of a Muslim. By practicing the pillars of Islam, one can strengthen one's faith and relationship with Allah, increase self-righteousness, and build togetherness and brotherhood among fellow Muslims. The pillars of Islam help strengthen a spiritual connection with Allah. Through worship and obedience to the pillars of Islam, we deepen our faith and present God in every aspect of our lives. Forming good character, the pillars of Islam teach noble moral and ethical values. By practicing these principles, we can form a character that is honest, patient, generous, and responsible. Strengthening Muslim brotherhood. Pillars of Islam create bonds of brotherhood and togetherness among Muslims. When we carry out worship together, such as praying in congregation or fasting together during Ramadan, we feel strong solidarity and unity. Giving meaning to life, the pillars of Islam provide a clear direction and purpose in life. By following these principles, we live with a higher purpose, which is to earn Allah's approval and achieve true happiness in this world and the hereafter. To close our video this time, the conclusion of our theme this time is that the pillars of Islam are the basic principles in the Islamic religion that every Muslim must understand and practice. The Shahada, prayers, fasting, Zakat, and Hajj form the basis of faith and religious practice in Islam. By practicing the pillars of Islam, we can strengthen our relationship with Allah, increase goodness within ourselves, and build togetherness and brotherhood among fellow Muslims. If you want to study this theme in more depth, please provide comments and input ideas. Then I will make details for each sub-theme of the pillars of Islam separately so that the video duration is not too long. It doesn't feel like we have discussed three main themes that are fundamental to a Muslim's life guide, namely, the origin of the religion of Islam, the second 6 pillars of faith, the third 5 pillars of Islam. On the next occasion we will discuss the relationship between the three so that they become a unified whole that is easy for us to understand and practice seriously in our lives. Thank you for watching this video. We hope this information has been beneficial to you. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and follow our exciting content about Islam. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Happy greetings and let's maintain world peace. Differences are beautiful.